already. So what financial tag is and when it is implemented or introduced in Dynamics. So hope everyone is able to see my screen and I am properly audible. So can anyone confirm?
Yes.
Yes, Deepak, you are audible, clear.
Thank you, thank you. So yeah, regarding this financial tag feature, uh, why it has been introduced, why there was a need, and why Microsoft has introduced so late this financial tag features. So we in every implementations we might have faced some difficulties regarding the data analysis on the voucher transactions or ledger transactions. So on the voucher transactions or ledger transactions, we have data, but we do not have the data which is captured on the sub ledger table, like uh, invoice number and vendor. So such information is not available on the ledger transactions or voucher transactions. So to capture such information or add some additional tagging to do the data analysis, so this feature has been introduced. So do not confuse it with the financial dimension. The financial dimension is altogether is a different set, but financial tag is somewhat acting like a financial dimension, but there is a huge difference between the two. And in starting of the video, I just wanted to confirm that financial tag is not going to replace the financial dimension as of now, which Microsoft has already communicated this thing. So why there is need of financial tag? Like earlier, what we were doing for the data analysis, we were dependent on the document number, invoice number, or financial dimensions to do the data analysis. So now to reduce this dependency or to eliminate this dependency on the fields like document number, description, or financial dimension, we can use the financial tags instead to do the data analysis on the ledger transaction and voucher transactions. So why I'm always saying ledger and voucher transaction, because this financial tag analysis is available only on the ledger transaction and voucher transactions, and there are some reports on which Microsoft is introducing on each releases that we are also going to discuss with. So before starting the PPT sessions, I just wanted to show you how financial dimension, not financial dimension, how financial tag is working actually, and in system how it looks like. So let me post one invoice journal. So this is for one who is not aware about the financial tag at all. Okay, let me create one invoice journal regarding the financial tag. Test one. No, yeah. So I'm taking any vendor. Invoice and invoice. T1 to say something. So you can see the financial tag, a separate column is already coming. This is financial tag for my account type. And for the offset account, I have the offset financial tag available here. So like financial dimensions, we have financial tag here, a separate column. So we can select from the drop down. These are the financial tags which are already created in the system. So this financial tag, let's say for bank, I can choose this transaction is related to SBI Bank, and legal entity I can select from the drop down, and the area also I can select from the drop down. Let's say Delhi, and vendor again we can select, and the car and other dimensions we can select or type manually based on the configuration that I will discuss later on. So this is the financial tag. It is updated. If you see on the offset account type, it is not yet updated, but once I enter the any expense ledger, let's say advertisement expenses. So see, the financial tag from account is already updated to the offset account. So we can make changes in the offset also. Whatever changes we wanted to make, that we can do. So once this data is saved, I'll post it and show where it is getting reflected and how we can do the analysis based on these financial tags. Give some amount, post it. Okay, so let's go to the voucher. On the right hand side of the voucher, you can see all the financial tags are visible. Bank, legal entity. So whatever dimension we have filled, it is coming already here. So this dimension was auto driven. I'll tell you later. This is coming from the rule. So this dimension is coming on the voucher level. So if you wanted to make an analysis, you can extract this data and filter out on this specific tag, and you can analyze this data. So this is just an example. We can put an invoice number and other fields which is required on the voucher and ledger transactions, which is usually available on the subledger data. So this is the high level how financial tax works. Now let's jump to the PPT and let's discuss some background about this. Yeah, so the overview of this financial tag is it's very easy to configure. Unlike financial dimension is account structure driven and it is very complex to manage the account financial dimension. But this financial tag is very flexible, very easy to use and track the data on the ledger transactions, which I have already discussed. And this financial tag is 20 user defined field per legal entity. And the beauty of this feature is also that it is legal entity specific tag we can configure. For each legal entity, we can configure 20 user defined financial tags for each legal entity. And this financial tag feature firstly introduced in 10.032 version. So since 32 to 48, we have seen a drastic improvement in this financial tag feature. So Microsoft is constantly working on this feature, and hopefully in future we will be expecting more viable and more at multiple places this feature will be available. So first time this has been introduced in 32, and there is one feature called financial tag in feature management. Once we enable that feature, then we can use this functionality of financial tag. Okay. Now some key benefits of this financial tag, which I have already discussed. So it simplifies the visibility into subledger, as I mentioned. So subledger data is not visible on the ledger transactions and voucher. So using this functionality, we can uh, use the subledger fields on the ledger transactions, and it reduces the overburden of the financial dimension. So many of you have already faced that we have overused financial dimension, like for the small things, like for the vendor code. Sometimes user ask the client ask the vendor code as a financial dimension because they wanted to see the data from vendor wise also, so particular location or vendor wise also. So that burden can be reduced if instead of using this dimension, we can use the financial tag also at some point of time. And it enables the flexibility. As I already told you, it's very easy and flexible to use and very much customizable. And one more good thing about this financial tag is we can edit after posting. The financial dimension cannot be edited after posting the voucher, but tags can be edited after posting the voucher also. So these are some key benefits of the financial tag. And these are the feature coverage and releases, which from 32 version we have seen this feature has been introduced, and in 37 versions we have expanded this feature into the journal ledger mode form, global allocation, journal fixed asset, journal asset leasing, and multiple forms, almost all the forms. Now in the recent releases we have also included in the expense management module also, and the project management module is also excluded in the previous version. So this has been also extended to the sales order and purchase order also, but for that we have the feature, the separate feature needs to be enabled, like this enable financial tag for sales order invoicing. Once we go to the feature management, this feature name will be coming. We have to enable this feature, only then we can use the financial tag on the uh, accounting source explorer and on the PO and SO. So specifically for PO and SO, we have the separate features to be enabled. And in 44 version, we have also got this fixed list and fixed custom list in the financial tag as a type of financial tag, these two, which is very important. I'll discuss it. And in 46 version at high level, we have also added this feature into the BPA. So BPA is the business process analysis. So this is just a reporting, business performance analytics. This is a reporting tool. So this introduces in this, it means we are using financial tag at the reporting level also. Not only the voucher transaction or ledger transaction, we can use this at the reporting level also, because this financial tag has been added in the data model also. So once it is added in the data model, so any reporting tool can be use this data model as a reporting configuration. Okay, so the recent version 48, the recent version, in the recent version we have expanded this financial tag on the bank reconciliation process, where we create the payment journals and other things automatically. So in that journal also, this feature has been extended in the recent releases. Now coming to the setup and configuration part. So yeah, I'm not going to into detail, so I will just take you to the dynamics, how to do the setups of this financial tag and what are uh yeah. So let me go to general ledger module. So first thing, we have to go to the feature management. So in feature management, we have to enable the financial tag feature. So I'm not going there too, because it's already enabled, and hope everyone is aware how to enable this feature. Now I'm going to general ledger or delimiters to define the delimiters ledger setup. Yeah. Like in financial dimension, we have a separator which we call the delimiters. So similarly, for financial tag also we have a separator which we call the delimiters. So as of now, I cannot make any edit, but we have the dash, pipeline, and some other options are there as a separator. So once this separator is set, we cannot make any changes in the separator. So we use this separator carefully. Make sure, let's say in vendor master, we have a V-001. If someone has configured the vendor code as V-001, so avoid this dash, because this dash duplication will create a confusion when you post the entry. So avoid using the delimiters which is already used in the vendor master. So I have used for the time being as a pipeline. Now once we enable this feature financial tag on the general ledger module itself in the chart of account, this financial tag things will be enabled. And below we have the financial tag rules. For this we have a separate feature to enable. I'll discuss after covering this financial tag thing. Okay, so this is the financial tag feature. So as we can already discuss that we have 20 limit for the per legal entity we can define. So as of now 50 is already created. And to create it, what we can do, we can click on new and create any financial tag, let's say test or something we can create. So I'm not going to create it, because once it is created and saved, I cannot delete it. As of now, I can delete it. So you can see the delete button is not there. Once you create the tag and save it, you cannot delete it. But you can, you have the flexibility that you can change the tag name anytime. And this will be updated across all the posted transactions also. So let's say I have created a bank. So bank, the value I have given text. This value type is very important to understand you all because this value defines the characteristics of each financial tax. So this is the text field. So to make you clear this, I just wanted to go take you to the PPT. Yeah. So these values we have seen there. So text means it's a free text field. When I select text against any financial tag, it means it's a free text field. I can enter any value on this particular tag while creating the transactions. And when we select the list, so list is basically a entity backed. Like dimension, we have two type of dimension: custom dimension and entity backed dimension. So this list is nothing but an entity back. Entity back means we have to select entity like vendors, dimension, worker entity. We can select it from there. Let me take you to this page. Like for legal entity, I have selected a list. So in list, I have to define the legal entity name. Mm, So we have these many of entity names from where I can fetch the this dimension values basically. So this dimension, so we have this limited entity as of now. So maybe in future you can see more list in this because Microsoft is working on this. So as of now we have this many of list. We can select any master, any thing you wanted to derived on this financial tag, you can select. So as of now for legal entity, I have selected the legal entity name. So this is the list. And one more thing is that list means it will show me the value from the legal entity names. So on the legal entity form, whatever legal entities are there, all will be visible. But I can override the selected legal entity name with my manual input also. That will I show you in the transactions. Now coming to the custom list. So the custom list is nothing but I'll just simply tell you that when you create a financial dimension, we add some values manually. So this is that values as in short. So let's say area. I have selected area as a custom list. So for area, you can see on the action pin, this tag value has been enabled. So here on the tag value, I can add all those values like for financial dimension values we do. So I can add new and add one values like Bangalore. So this is the tag values. So this is a custom list again. And I can, these tag values will be visible on the transactions menu. Again, the limitation of this custom list is that I can manually override these tag values. I can select from transaction from the drop down, but apart from these values, I can manually type any other city name also apart from these values. So this to provide the flexibility of typing manually also. Now coming to the next two, which has been introduced by Microsoft in the previous release 44, which is very important thing. So this is a fixed list and fixed custom list. So like in the list, I have already discussed that it is entity back tag value, but manually I can override the values. But here, if you select the fixed list, it means I cannot manually intervene. I can only select the tag value from these selected entities. Like in our case, fixed list we have, yeah. Here we have fixed list. So fixed is a vendor group. So in this case, I can select the vendor groups only. I cannot manually input any other values in this vendor group tag. So this is a fixed list. And next is the fixed custom list. So fixed custom list, as I can show, custom tag value is there. So these are the tag values created. And apart from this tag values, I cannot select any other value or I cannot type any other values apart from these values. So this is the fixed custom list. So this is different between fixed custom list and custom list. Similarly for list and fixed list. Hope this is clear to everyone. If you understand this, then you will be good to go ahead. So anyone is having any question on this four? I'll take it as no. Okay, let me quickly show you, demonstrate you on the transactions, how it works. Vendor invoice journal. Let me create new invoice. Demo. So in a single transaction, I want to demonstrate you all the things, but let me show that tag values first, which is important. It was test. Okay. Yeah. Now coming to this financial tax, the bank. Now coming to bank is my text, which is a free text basically. So I can type here as a bank any value, ICICI Bank, or I can say BOI, Bank of India, and legal entity. The second tag, legal entity is my list. List is from this entity, legal entity name. So I can go in legal entity and I can select from the drop down. So I can select this Contours on admin system. I have selected, but the limitation, or you can say the advantage or flexibility of this list is I can manually change this value. Let's say my entity is INMF 001. I can give anything. So I update this value. So this value is getting updated here. It has not stopped me because the legal entity nature is list. Now coming to the area which is a custom list. Custom list again I can select from the drop down. I can select from the drop down. Let's say Delhi I have selected, and I can override this value also. As I mentioned, instead of value, let me type a Jaipur. So Jaipur is not the value here in my tag values, but still I can enter it and get it on my tag. Okay. So now coming to next is fixed list, which is vendor. So in fixed list, you see I can select from these vendor accounts. I cannot enter manually anything A, B, C or something. So system give me the validation error that please select a valid value in the fixed financial tag. So in the fixed financial tag, I can select only from the entity, not any additional. Similarly for the cars, which is a fixed custom list. So we have the tag values here. From this tag values, I can select only this. I cannot manually input any values into that. Yep. So car, I will be having this drop down. I can select these values from there. I cannot manually type any other values there. Okay. So this is the all 5 types of financial tag values, and let me put some amount here. So you can see in the offset financial tag, it is not coming as of now. So once I enter this offset account, it will be updated. Let's say parking expense. Yep. So my all the dimension from the financial tag account type is auto populated on the financial tags offset account. Now once this is created and saved, if I make any changes, on this financial tag, let's say instead of Jaipur, I'm typing something Raipur. So this is updated here, Raipur. But if you see on the opposite side, offset type, it is not updated. So this is one more feature which Microsoft has given that intentionally, that once this record is saved, and if you wanted to make any changes on only the account side and don't want on the offset account type, you can do that. So this is the flexibility of this tag value. Okay, so this has been updated, and let me save it. Coming to my PPT for the next points. Yep. So there is a header concept. Since we have, let's say we in voucher we have 100 lines. So in 100 times I am going to update the financial tag values. So the answer is no, because the financial tag can be derived from the header like financial dimension. So if you see on the journal batch number, we have the financial tag here. So when we create any journal batch, we define the financial tag on the batch header. So whenever we create a new line, this financial tag will get auto populated on those. Let me just show you. Before that, let me just post this. This was not mine. Yep. So I'm creating new invoice journal. So this is header driven, header FT. So in this journal, on the financial tag here, on the journal batch number, I will define the financial dimensions which are required on the line level. So in case of the multi-line feature, we can define the tag values here. Visual and vendor. Starter. Okay, so now I'll go to the lines. So you can see the financial tag is automatically coming from header to line. So let's say if I create a new line, it will come to the new line also, since it is already updated on the header. So it is the path or navigation of this financial tag is like this: from header to line, and from line to accounting distribution if you have any, and from accounting distribution to accounting entries like vouchers and ledger transactions. So this is the flow of the financial tag, how it is flowing from header to posting vouchers. Okay. Similarly, you guys can test it on the other journals like journal or sales order, purchase order. So all this can be tested. So now coming to the limitation of this. So like financial dimension, we have a default mapping on the customer master, vendor master, item master, fixed asset master. But financial tag is not driven automatically from any default mapping. Okay. So 1 second. Yeah, sorry. Hmm. So we do not have any default mapping on the master data, but we have a default rule to configure, which I will discuss later on in this video. And here the financial tag must be manually entered or imported if required. So like financial dimension, we have the entity to upload. Similarly, we have the entity to upload the financial tags also. Earlier we was not having, but in the previous release it has been introduced, the entity to upload the financial tag and financial tag values also. Okay. Now coming some validations and postings while posting the transactions. The first thing, there is no validation, which we have already discussed, and the voucher transactions from the main accounts, which we have already discussed. And yeah, like for the financial dimension on the trial balance, we have the we can shortlist the trial balances based on the financial dimension. The grouping we can do on the trial balance based on the financial dimension, but this financial tag is not available on the financial trial balance, so we cannot make any sorting, grouping, or any analysis on the trial balance using this financial tag feature. And this can be imported, financial tags can be imported via DMF journal lines also. So this I have already extracted the file. I just show you because sake of the time I'm not going to extract. So using the data management, let's say you are going to upload the opening balances with some financial tag, or you wanted to upload the vendor invoice journal, PO and SO lines. So you can upload those values using the financial data management framework also. So this is the entity which I have just exported to demonstrate you on of the vendor invoice. So here you can see on the vendor invoice journal line template, we have this column also, pin tag display value, and its offset value also, offset fin tag display value. So this has been also extended to data management framework. Okay. And yeah, so deactivated tags. So historical entries is already available on the deactivated tags, and we can also make changes in the deactivated tags also. Now let me show you the these two deactivated tags, and after posting what changes we can make on the financial tags. We have just posted one voucher. Let me open that voucher. Yeah, okay. Let me go to the voucher. So this is the voucher which we have just posted with some financial tags. So here, let's say mistakenly I have updated the area here. So this area should not be Jaipur, or in both there's a difference. I just wanted to make some changes in this. So this is my posted voucher. Here I will go to the edit voucher and edit internal voucher data. So here we have two features. We can add multiple lines also, and we can add single lines also. So this is a single line update only. And for multiple line, what I have to do here, I have to select lines for which I wanted to make update. So let's say for these two voucher lines, I wanted to update the financial tag. Now here I'll go to the edit internal voucher data, and these two lines comes here. So now here two option is there. You can manually update it here. Like instead of Raipur, I want to make it Jaipur only. And instead of Tata, I wanted to make it as Oda. So this has been done for the first line, and similarly I can do it for the second line and click OK. Once I'll do OK, the for first line it has been changed. Jaipur and car is Skoda. So let's say instead of updating manually, there is a bulk update feature is also there. So for all the lines, I wanted to update the values, like for the field which I wanted to update the cars. Instead of Skoda, I wanted to update Tata, but here you won't have the lookup values. So I'll update the car for both the lines. App and look okay. Does it update? Yeah. So this car is updated to the Tata. So the bulk feature is also there, and individually we can also update it here. Okay. And let me show you one more thing. Here we have this show inactive financial tags. So if I show you here, we have financial tags. Few are active, few are inactive financial tags. So these are inactive financial tags like test, vendor group, and cost. So they are inactive financial tags. I can see all those inactive financial tags on in the front also. Test is also there, but I wanted to see all the inactive financial tags. So right side, you can see all the inactive financial tags, test, vendor group, post. And you wanted to make any update or changes in this inactive financial tag, that also you can do. So that level of flexibility is given on the financial tag. So see here we have the vendor group, which is the inactive financial tag, but still I can update it here. Values, okay. And this inactive financial tag is updated with this vendor group. Okay. So let me hide this inactive financial tags. Okay. So this is the great feature. So the bulk update we have seen, and we have seen the update on this browser. So there's some considerations which is we have already discussed. So the tag value can be used instead of financial dimension wherever we think we can use the financial tags. So before that, we should know the capabilities of the financial tag. And as I mentioned earlier, we should plan the delimiters accordingly. And so tag enhances the reporting part only. So like financial dimension is basically for the uh, financial analysis, like financial dimensions for our P&L preparations and P&L level analysis. But tag is not the P&L level analysis or for the financial reporting purposes. It's an internal analysis only. Okay. So there are some future prospects which I was constantly saying that in the September 2026, we are extending this feature to this uh, advanced bank reconciliations, including the generate vouchers, customer payment, vendor payment actions, and these are few forms where this financial tag is getting available from 2026 September. And talking about the inclusion in the reports, as I mentioned earlier, that this financial tag is added as a data model into the BPA. So the in BPA, this can be used, business performance analytics, it can be used now. So this was in the previous, it is September 2025. So now this is already available, that can be used. You can explore if anyone aware with this BPA process. Okay. So now I'm moving to the next section of this financial tag, which is the financial tag rules. So till now, anyone having any questions on the financial tag only, or anything that you wanted to that should be part of the financial tag or that should be improved? Because this is just a growing baby which is maturing day by day. Any question till now? कोई है कि नहीं यहाँ पे? Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Manish.
Yes, people.
Thank you. So no questions as of now. Okay, so this is the line I've taken from the Microsoft document. So the clarification that Microsoft has already given on this, that financial tag are used to default the properties of the transactions. Because of this, there are no plans to include financial tag default values on master data such as customer, vendor, or product. Instead, defaulting rule can be used to default any value from a transaction to the tag. So in short, the default feature which I was talking about, defaulting from the master to the transaction level, that is not available in the financial tag, but instead of that, Microsoft has given some defaulting rule. We can default that tag values on the transactions. So for that, we have to configure some rules. So now I am talking about that rule in the next slide. So default financial tags. So we have one feature, default financial tag. That feature needs to be enabled first. Once we enable that feature, we can see this field here on the journal ledger module, financial tags. We have financial tag rules feature. So once we enable that financial tag rule feature, this form will be visible. This is the tag rules. So what is the advantage and the use cases of this financial tag defaulting feature? So this is basically automatically populate the values based on the certain logics or certain conditions on the transactions. So it can be configured. So it can be configured based on the business logic or based on the dimension also. If you wanted to take any dimension value on the tag values, that can also be done, because dimension, if you can see, the dimension on the voucher is coming as in a single column. Like let's say we have a 10 dimensions on the legal entity, so all dimension is coming in a single column with a separator. So we cannot make analysis with a single dimension. So you want to use cost center as a separate dimension for the analysis on the ledger or voucher. So you can use a tag as a cost center, and you can extend that cost center dimension to the tag cost center, because financial tag is coming in a separate column. That extra analysis make easy. So that can also be done. So the tag rule, basically the tag rule, there are two type of tag rule in the system. First is the system rules, so which is already defined by the Microsoft. In these rules, we cannot make any changes, but we can disable those rules. Uh, like this rule consists like defaulting financial tag from header to line. So it is flowing from header to line. So this rule has been defined by the Microsoft. So if you don't want to flow from header to lines, you can disable that tag rules, which is given by Microsoft in standard. But you cannot make any changes on that system rules. Okay. And next is the custom rule. So custom rule which we can customize or configure based on the business logic. Let's say I want to drag some vendor, or I wanted to drag some invoice number on the tag values because invoice is not coming on the voucher transaction. So I wanted to drag that invoice number or some area or some cost center. So that can be defaulted, automatically come based on the custom logic. Okay, so these are the process. Instead of theoretically going to the process, I will take you to the mm, system and quickly show you. So you can see here system rules are already there. System rules tick tick tick, and where we have the defined rule by us, that system rule will not be ticked here. So let me create one rule. I have already created for invoice, but let me show you that same rule how to create new. So here transaction entry point is important. So transaction entry point means what are the journals you are going to use to post the transactions. Like for the vendor invoice I was posting, or you are using the journal. So I was using the vendor invoice journal. So these many journals are there. So earlier there was only 3-4, but now you can see multiple journals are there. So soon you will be able to see the expense journal also here, which is planned in the future release. Okay, so here transaction level, where you wanted to transaction level, let's say on header or account, I just take a logic from the accounts. So let's say I wanted to put some logic that if the account is my this one, and based on that, this value should be driven. Let's say, for example, I wanted to derive the invoice number on the voucher. So for the invoice number on the voucher, so this invoice number is only in case of the let's say vendor. I'll take the logic of the account. So what is the target value? Target value is nothing but your financial tag value. So I'll take a financial tag invoice because I want to drive this invoice value. Okay. So now if you know the power fx formula, you can the power fx formula. I am not aware with this formula, but you can use the conditions also. So let's say I want to put the condition that if my account type is vendor, if my account type is vendor, then I wanted to drive the value. This is my tag value and this is my actual D365 value invoice. Let's say type invoice is there. So these are the limited fields. From these fields, you can only select. Okay. So if my account type is on vendor invoice journal, if my account type is vendor, then this invoice tag should be updated as the invoice number which I've entered on the transaction. And else condition you can give, else it should come as invalid or other. It should come. It's a custom text, or you can else you can give any other values that you want to. Sorry. So I'll just click OK, or I can simulate. For simulation, you have to give one created vendor invoice journal. So it will show you the how it will work. So as of now, I do not have the okay. So these two things, I need to first enable this feature and override the existing values. Means if financial dimension, let's say automatically populating from my account to offset account. So I wanted to override that value with this with this condition. So I will click on this. So hopefully we should always click on this if you wanted to overwrite the existing financial tag. So once this is done, I'll click OK, it will be configured, but this same thing I have already configured. So I'm not going to configure this. I'll go back and I'll show that I have configured this already. These are the system values, system. This is for vendor. Yeah, this one. So this is configured by me already. So let me open this. So this power fx formula is already coming, and this is condition which I put the same condition. So now I'll show you how this conditions work actually. I'll quickly post one invoice journal. Yep. Okay. So this is about FT rule. So my condition was that if the account type is vendor, so in that case, the invoice, whatever invoice I entered here, that should flow automatically to my financial tag invoice. This is my financial tag invoice. On this, it should auto flow. So this was my rule. So now my account type is vendor only. I'll put today's date. Let me put the invoice number. As of now, you can see financial tag is coming as nothing. So I'm invoice rule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, give some amount and let me define. If you don't define, no problem. You just need to soft refresh, or we can put this automatically come. You see, this invoice is automatically populated on my tag values. So this is automatically coming based on this rule. Similarly, you can configure other rules also. So here you can see there was one more rule in that same, the vendor rule. So this rule here below, yeah, this vendor rule, which is also activated. So what the logic of this vendor rule is that offset account type is ledger, then vendor account should come. Otherwise, it should come as invalid. So my offset account type is ledger here. In the transaction, if you see the offset account type is ledger, in that case, this vendor is coming automatically, which and vendor is mapped here. If I change the vendor, this value is also get changed. So this is the defaulting rule. Similarly, we can, based on the business logic or based on the availability of the values in this form, that is very important. So whatever values are available, we can use these values and configure the defaulting financial tags accordingly, and we can post it. Okay, so now coming to my slide. So this is the high level difference between the financial dimension and financial tags. So there is one more thing I wanted to just quickly show you. So as I mentioned on the voucher transaction, this financial tag is visible. So let's say you wanted to search uh, vouchers having particular financial tag. So that can also be done. General ledger voucher transaction. So once we click OK, we will get all the voucher transactions with the values. But here you can also, let me no. So here you can also search the voucher transaction based on the tag values. So here two things are there. One is the financial tag. So here the tag value is coming as tag 1, 2, 3, 4, like this it is coming. So this will create a confusion for the user to identify which tag it is talking about, because the tag here we have the sequence, like financial dimension we have the sequence. So similarly in the tag we have this sequence 1 to 15. So in this sequence this tag is getting updated. So when you use the uploader, we have to maintain this sequence only. And here this tag sequence is coming like this way. So this is creating confusion. So instead of using this financial tags, instead use this journal accounting entry, journal account entry. So here you will get tag values with the name, or tag with the name. So like financial tag is area, bank, and let's say bank. I wanted to search for the bank, and I wanted to search transaction with the bank ICICI. So since we have this bank as a text, so that's why it is giving these values. Let me select any other tag, which is car. Okay. So from car, you can see the drop down values, all the values are coming. So with Tata, we have posted. I wanted to see the Tata related voucher transactions only. So all the Tata related tags voucher transactions are already visible. So this filtration is also useful based on the requirement. So yeah, that's it. And this is the difference. You can get it on any MS document also, and which we have already demonstrated during my demonstration. Yeah, there are some real business use cases that you can implement or think to implement in your current implementation. So like invoice value is one of the thing that I have demonstrated you. Similarly, you can fetch the department or cost center on the tag values for the analysis on the ledger and voucher transactions point of view. And for the project or campaign code, we can also fetch to the tag values on expense categories also. So similarly, there are few use cases that you can go and test these cases. So yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you very much. If anyone is having any questions, most welcome.
Yeah, hi Deepak. It was a good
Yes, yes,
session
Manik.
actually. We got to know the difference between financial dimension and financial tag actually. Okay, just one question actually. I just wanted
Hmm.
to check if you have done previously. We were also using the same financial tags in my project.
Okay,
Problem we are facing is that like no, normally we have a purchase order and then we are importing the financial tax on the header level. Okay, so when you invoice
okay.
it, we are able to see the financial tax on the subledger version and voucher wise. Okay, but there is something called prepayment invoice as well, right? So
Right.
whenever we do a prepayment invoice, okay, actually
Hmm.
we saw that the dimension like financial tax are not flowing in. Okay, so we are not sure whether it's an Microsoft bug or like no out of bugs bug. So I just want to know if you can try something and then like let me know if like it's a standard or it's a bug.
Yeah, yeah, understood. So this I was just reading yesterday regarding the invoice of the purchase order. So I have read that this is flowing from header to line, and line to invoice also it is flowing. So
Correct.
I will check. So you are saying that on the prepayment invoice it is not flowing, right?
Exactly. Correct. Yes.
Okay, okay, Manish. I'll note it down and I'll check and update you on this prepayment invoice. Okay.
Sure. And what is the limit of this tax where we can able to add? Like, is it like five tax?
20,
Oh, okay, okay.
uh, 20 per legal entity.
Okay, 20 per legal entity.
So
Oh, that's fine.